Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another Friday dev stream on Handelabra. I'm John. I'm going to be programming some more Steam Workshop stuff. So, let's get right to it. Hello, Trident and Jake. Trident is complaining about Twitch notifications. I hear you. I usually start the stream about 5 minutes before the time because it can take up to 5 minutes for Twitch to send notifications out. Sometimes it happens like almost instantly, but usually it takes around 3 minutes or so. So it really depends on like once you hit go live, it's like usually between 0 and 5 minutes before it notifies people. It'd be nice if that was consistent, but it is not. Cool. So today is Friday, December 18th. It is 1 week until Christmas. So as you might expect, I won't be doing a dev stream on Christmas Day. And probably not New Year's Day, maybe New Year's Day, but probably not. So there'll probably be a bit of a break between dev streams over the holidays, so just keep that in mind. But we'll see what we can get done today. Just try to get comfortable here. Move the microphone and make a loud noise. Okay. I've already done a bit of things today that I can show you. I fixed that bug that has to do with opening lines. So Rujuin, if you are watching or watching on YouTube later, that has been fixed, and I'll show you that. We can show that in a bit. What I'm looking at right now is supporting villain variants, because there were some reports of that not working, and also some more of that error handling stuff we had started on last week. So I'm looking at basically can show you like I created, sort of dummy mod variant. So the baddies villain has a promo called the Real Baddies, and I also made a Baron Blade variant called Baron Jeremy. And but I made it so they're not done properly. So right now, they don't have classes. And so I wanted to take that moment to add this test in when we load mods up to actually try loading them up properly. And if they fail at that point, then be like, no, your mod didn't load, so we're not going to allow it. Instead of that happening like later in, say, the new game screen or continue game or something like that. And so let's go back to where I was. So in the engine... Well, let's go to the UI part. I guess I can just show you what I'm working on. So in our mod manifest, where we load the DLL, we also have a test DLL function I added. And what it first does is it basically makes a new game with all of the decks that the mod says that it has. If that works, great. If it has an exception, we say, what's going on. We also test all the variants that are listed in the mod within the mod itself, as well as any variants of existing content. And this is basically just making a big dictionary for each deck, all of the variants in it. And then we have another function here that just goes through, basically makes games with all that content until there's nothing left. Because you might have like 5 variants of Baron Blade for some reason. You can only have 1 Baron Blade in each game, so we need to make at least 5 games. But basically, it's just a way to run this as few times as possible to test that stuff out. And so you can see when I run with the new stuff I added to my mod, I'm getting errors and exceptions. I threw a bunch of new logging in there for testing. We get a warning, mod helper couldn't find it, and then I've upgraded this to an error and actually an exception throw from the engine, so that we can detect that here and actually say, no, that's not allowed. You can't continue with this mod. We can't find the baddies, the real baddies variant is get an exception there. And it doesn't even get to Baron Blade because it has an exception. So it has exception in the first area of testing, which is where we test the variants of content in the mod. So I just want to finish up that engine part. Here. So I think I enabled another log that's just a little too noisy, these ones. Yeah, so here in the card controller factory, if we don't find it, now we actually throw the exception back up, and if we don't, let's say if we get an exception here, if we don't find a card controller for that card, we're actually going to throw an exception now. So that's going to be new. If you have any content that you haven't actually developed, then you're going to get an exception. So at least you need to put in a blank class for each card, or it will fail like that. So FYI, if you are developing a mod and you've got a bunch of empty stuff, you'll need to put at least a blank class in for that as of the next update because of this. So let's just build that again without those extra logs. And that updates in here. And yeah, so we're getting our errors, which is good. And so the idea, actually, there's one more thing I need to do. So the idea now is if these errors happened, I don't want that mod to be available, right? It shouldn't be, I shouldn't see the stuff in here. Actually, I guess I don't. But I think the assembly is still loaded, which could cause problems. So we need to actually unload the assembly as well. Because we need to load the assembly in order to test it. Oh yeah, let's open the Sentinels engine again. So we need to add a function to unload the thing. So remove assembly. We only need to pass the namespace. And then we can do this. I guess we can just call this. So if that exists, we want to remove it. I guess this isn't a code that actually loads it up, right? Guess we just, yeah. I guess this code you can know about it if just basically that. This doesn't need to return anything. I guess this just registers them. It doesn't actually, like... We just need it to not be listed anymore, basically, is the idea. It probably doesn't matter, but there's no need for it to be keeping a reference to that when it's not allowed to use it. So in Mod Manager here, when we load mods, Right. So we call load DLL, and if it succeeds, we remember it here. But if it doesn't succeed, then we don't. But here it is, right, like remembering it in the engine. So here, if the test, yeah, if the I even wrote the comment here, if test fails, remove the mod. Okay. Cool. So that should be good. So yeah, if the mod fails to load, we're just going to clear it up and not even look at it anymore. And I guess we already saw that there was no stuff in here, but just to double check. Okay. All right, so I guess it makes sense to commit that right now. I also had to add a class. Basically, we did have a card that didn't have a class. You might have seen warnings about this when you played Oblivion mode on the mod build. Is this didn't have a class, and it was giving warnings about it. And now it's going to throw an exception about it, so I had to fix that. I don't know why that. Just a white space change, I guess. Yeah, so missing class for card controller is now considered an error and throws an exception. Okay. And I ran all the tests as well, and it's okay. So we'll update the DLL, and we'll add, basically here we are test mods when loading by creating game controller with all the content, which takes a little longer to load, but I don't think it should matter too much. We'll see if like giant mods end up being an issue, but part of the next thing we're going to do is deal with other issues caused by slow loading. So there's that. There's also loading the promo card list after all mod DLLs are loaded. First, let's just get our variants to work, our villain variants, since I made them. We can get those errors fixed by actually implementing them and make because there were some discussions of villain variants not working, so there might be a spot where things are just not quite where they need to be. Oh yeah, Sentinels RPG is arriving for people, so enjoy. I've seen pictures on Twitter of people's books arriving and fancy dice and other things. All right, so the baddies need a character card controller. Can I just duplicate this? I guess not. The variant is called the Real Baddies. And I'll just like duplicate this. Cool. And that's right. And then we need to make a folder for Baron Blade. And add a new class called Baron Jeremy, character card controller. And just gonna copy and paste this stuff. Baron Jeremy. And I think the namespace needs to be, like workshopping.baronblade. All right, so that should be all we need. They don't have any implementation. copy that over to the game and run it. Look, Ma, no errors. And I have it logging out right now, like what it's doing for the test, so you can see what's happening. So first it tries to make all the content that is in the game, in the mod itself, without variants, then any variants that are in the mod, and then any variants that are out for content outside of the mod, whether that's Handelabra content or other mod content. And actually, I can see how that could be a problem with mod ordering, with mod loading ordering. So that test might need to go somewhere else, right? Because if you haven't loaded, maybe we test all the mods at the end. Afterwards. Right. Test mods with game creation after all mod DLLs are loaded. Because, like, if my mod has a promo for one of your mod's characters, that's not going to work right now if yours is loaded after, because basically because of this. So we need to do this and then do the test, at least of the variants. Mod variants. Okay. We'll put a pin in that because we're going to just make sure that these villains work. So let's go and try making a new game of the baddies. These are the real baddies. They really are. But it still doesn't do anything. And they still seem to be the variant. All right, we'll see if the opening line works, which... Oh, we got an error. Texture files. Okay. It's fine. It didn't load the quote. Oh, right. That shouldn't be using a qualified identifier. Right? So maybe that's something we had fixed in heroes, but we didn't in villains. Right, so I have some logging here, like whether it couldn't find the variant for quote text and stuff like that. If it's your own... Yeah, and then here, yeah, so we're putting a qualified identifier somewhere where we shouldn't be, I think, is the issue. Because I think if we... Let's just add a log here. Promos. I don't know if that works. I don't think that works. I guess we can just select the values. That's all we care about. Excuse me. All right, so new game. And I'll take our variant migrant coder as well. And let's clear. Real baddies character, migrant coder, lockdown character. Okay, so those. Oh no, that does have workshopping dot. So at some point, we have that going correctly for heroes, but not for villains. So that's why, as you said, it's not working at all for villains, and that's because of what's going on there. So somewhere we're using qualified identifier, somewhere we're using identifier. Probably a new game data container. Set promo card. I guess I need to find out when does that get in there as the wrong thing. I think we can just go right into the new game screen here for this testing. Okay, so we choose variant changed, set promo card, to the card, and that's using right, this is if it's a Sentinels, it's not the Sentinels. Just like do another log of this, but it's like the actual. Yeah, here's where it's saying promo identifiers within a mod don't have the mod namespace prefix. Mod promo avoiding namespace prefix. So we're not getting into here maybe? Are we not getting card is mod content to be true or something? Let's see. Something is not connecting there with the villain for some reason. So if we do it with the hero, we toggle the variant here, we get mod promo avoiding namespace prefix, migrant workshopping.migrant coder equals that. So that's what we want. And if we take the baddies and we change the variant, we do get that. Okay. So somewhere something is getting wrong. Wait, it worked now? But I didn't change anything. I wonder if it's... I only, like, changed literally logging, right? Yeah. Because here it works. I wonder if it's when I click the variance button. Because it's a little different when it's up here, because it's in different spots, so handled a little differently. Yeah, so if we do this and then pull it down, we get the wrong thing. Okay. So when card view was moved is where it's probably checking to see, like, is it a variant and should we do something? Add villain from card. That's not setting the variant, though. That's team mode anyways, probably, right? Yeah. Right here. Yeah. This is a different place that's not handling that logic properly. If it's a promo card, then we set the promo identifier, but that's not the promo identifier we want. But if card.is mod content, we do something else. And where's the other? Basically, it's this. Where did we go? Here. So yeah, so if deck identifier, and if the deck identifier starts with that, we do that. It's basically similar. Villains are handled a little, mainly because of advanced and challenge and stuff. Villains have a little different logic than heroes. So, and again, team villains just don't have support promos at all, so we're not worrying about that right now. So here, if I change this and then click it, that looks good. Let's just do the same thing for the hero, because why not? And even this one. Oh, I don't have it unlocked. Guess I could unlock it. It's fine. And let's see if we get our variants now. We get some errors about graphics, but we get the quote. And yeah, let's just make sure the errors are like what we expect. It's not looking for like workshopping.png or whatever. No, it's looking for the real baddies stuff. Which is what we expect it to be looking for. Cool. And okay, so that loaded okay. I guess we can check to see if the game can continue. Looks like it does. Still has the baddies. I think we're okay there. Yeah, so the main thing was just like loading the right thing. Those logs are okay. There's not too noisy. So fix loading of mod variant villains in new game screen. Or fix selection, I guess, is really the problem. It looks like it probably would have worked if you picked the villain and then changed the variant, FYI. But this fixes both cases. All right, let's also test variant of existing villain, our Baron Blade, as well. Okay, so this is Baron Jeremy. Should have that be the promo title in there, actually. So we changed it and then we clicked it, right? And it worked okay. We can also, well, we can try starting the game. I guess that's the... So change it and then click it and randomize the rest. Looks like from the log, the promos are, yeah, we're looking for an atlas, which don't have. Looking for cutouts that should be there in the mod, but aren't there. That's fine. We have this quote. That is definitely a Jeremy quote. This is still the right stuff. And he doesn't do anything, so. Cool. All right, so let's try loading the game. And it's looking for Baron Jeremy. That's Baron Jeremy. Cool. I am roughly satisfied with all of that. I think it should be good. All right, so that's cool. So yeah, so let's finish up that error handling stuff that we put a pin into. So we can probably like have an example of this failing by, I think, did Ruduin have a mod of the cauldron in there? So let's go like download the latest cauldron. This and this. I don't know if we've got episode 0, Akash 3, Argent Adept. I think it's all core game stuff. Well, not core game, but Handelabra stuff. Yeah, that's mine. So I guess we can just make a. He's got a couple other decks too, so we'll just add like a little promo for a cauldron in ours. So let's grab we want to go to downloads. And we want Cauldron mods. Let's just make sure Cauldron mods loads last. And when we go to main menu, well, there's also issues of like loading timing. Because like if we make Cauldron mods load first, Oh, right. Splash screen. We have a save game that has our mod stuff in it, right? Failed to load assembly DLL. Well, maybe there's some issue with. Apparently some constructors in the cauldron are doing things which they shouldn't be. The folder name doesn't need to match the DL name. The folder name doesn't matter. We got an exception in something with the cauldron. It was when it was making a mod variant test game with Cauldron the Stranger. So maybe I won't use that. Let's try. Yeah, constructors should not be doing anything really in Sentinels decks. If they aren't, there might be a misunderstanding of what you should be doing. Let's download Ruduin's mod here. I can always make a new third mod or new second mod of my own. Where's the releases? Let's download this. And all right, we don't want this to be loading. All right, that seems fine. Right, so I think the issue is if we have another mod loading before ours, the main menu tries to load the continue game to see if it works, and then our mod isn't loaded yet, and it doesn't like that. Yeah, so here. And actually it can cause more issues. So what this code here needs to is basically trying to load. We go to the main menu screen. Yeah, it's checking to see if the continue file is where is it? It's actually not exactly this. Is that? I thought it loads the game. Does this function actually, does save file name exist? Does it actually try to load it? No. I thought there's something that tries to load it. Like there is a... Oh, in splash screen we're doing that? What? Oh, we're actually doing it here. I don't know why you're doing it so early. There must have been a reason for that. It wasn't a very useful error, SM Jake. It was... I don't know if I couldn't get a stack trace, so we can try putting it back in here. Oh, go there. argument cannot be null. Actually, the error is in my code. So let's pop open our testing code. Where would that? Might be just a weirdness of something. Actually, no, it's not down here. It's in mod manifest. Where? In test DLL. Line 166. Oh, I guess the variance can be null. Can it be? Oh, I guess it can be null. Okay, that's why. It's just a missing check here because it should be checking for a null there. So not an issue with the cauldron, it's an issue with me. Well, it might end up being an issue with the cauldron, we'll see. No, we're happy now. These warnings are indicating that the constructors are doing stuff that they probably shouldn't be. So that's something I would look into. But otherwise, it is loading. So it was just an issue with my code. So I'll just fix that right here. Okay. So yeah, the splash screen is doing that. I wonder if there's a reason why we're doing this here instead of later. Find out when did this happen. Sometimes Blame works in Visual Studio, sometimes it doesn't. Oh yeah, we had to move the repository, and so I don't have history of that easily. Yeah, so don't try loading the continue file here. We have to try loading it after mods are loading. Mods are finished loading. So I think we can do this, and basically in here, finish loading. Yeah, so I need to check. I don't know if finished loading, I'd rather be like a little more useful. So maybe we'll make a status not supported, not started, loading finished. I think, yeah. I guess that's fine. Why is this? Can I just not be like, oh, this dot, right, finish loading. Status. Just thinking of when I can like decide. Yeah, like actually we don't need to load this Atlas prefab for non-standalone either. Okay. So I think on the main menu we can do show the continue button. Maybe we'll make a function for this. Yeah, I think actually what I want to do is put that in here. So if we're not loading mods at all, it's going to be that. And then update we can check once we're finished. We can update the continue button. And we probably need a flag to say like so we can only do it once. Okay, so here we can put that code that was here. And we can show the continue button. So basically on mobile, we're just gonna like show it right away. On Steam, we'll show it once mods are finished loading. So it might take a couple frames. So let's see. We can like do this. Yeah, so you see, I don't know if you saw, but it like popped in for a second there. Yeah, and so we got mods finished loading like a couple frames after, basically after the mods were all done loading. You can try that again. You get the main thing, and then that pops in once it's successful. Cool. Okay, so that is good. So that's basically, that's not going to fix the ordering issue, but basically that is checking. And then I think we can just delete this code out of the splash screen. Wait for mods to finish loading before showing or before trying to continue file. Cool. Okay, so I want to make a variant of the cauldron then. So let's make the cauldron load last. And we'll get rid of that. So basically, we're going to get an error here because, like, I want there to be an error in the testing, and then we'll fix the testing to do the right thing, or we'll fix the loading to do the right thing. So let's go to our mod, and we'll make a promo for something. I don't know what things are. Let's look. Cricket. Okay. We can look at the manifest. Namespace is cauldron, so it's cauldron.cricket should be the deck name here. Just copy our bunker here. And the identifier, I assume, is cricket. And our promo identifier can be, what's the gun in the noisy cricket? And let's do some funny quotes from the movie. Sure. Power is called Little Midgie Cricket. Little Midgie. Power. Break this dang thing. I don't know. 33 hit points. Opening lines. We'll just copy this. Okay, now we need to create it. I haven't done this yet, so I think we would want to make a folder called cauldron.cricket. Maybe just cricket. New class. Noisy cricket character card controller. Guess we're going to want all these. Right. Workshopping.cauldron.cricket. I'm not sure if that is what it's going to be. Haven't actually tried this, so. And it's a hero character card controller, and we have to put in the constructor, which is typically empty. Remember, one of the reasons why the constructors are empty is because this is called also when you load a game. So it shouldn't be doing anything. It's not only called when you start a new game. If you're doing that, the assumption that that's only going to be called when you start a new game, you're going to have problems. So I'm pretty sure none of our constructors do anything in Sentinels. Okay, so I guess we want incapabilities and power. And, oh, we're in the wrong, pasted in the wrong spot. Destroy self. Destroy card. Uh-oh. Not a good power, but that's what it's doing. All right, so in theory, this should work. We can make a test for it. I think. We have a test for, like, our variant of bunker and whatever, right? Oh, but I don't know if your tests are gonna need to be able to load the other mod. So I don't know about that. We'll get there. Let's try running it in the UI. That might be hard. Like, we need the test framework to be able to load another mod for that, right? Which right now, I mean, you can do it. It's just not something that we, like, have a mechanism for you to make it easy. This is the download folder. Get rid of those. So I put this in here. All right. We should get errors because we won't know about the cauldron yet in any case. Curious what's going to happen, though. Interesting. It loaded. Right. I didn't even specify it in the promo card list, though. I guess it's still trying to load it from this. It's not in the manifest, but it's in here. Hey, Seamus. So, yeah, this is saying I'm looking for cricket deck list in Handelabra. And it's like, nope, that's not a thing. In mod helper load promo card list. So let's see. About that. That's called, like, oh yeah, so that's called here, and we don't know about the cauldron yet. So I wonder if I rearrange the ordering, is it going to work? So we call this, we make the cauldron load first. Are we okay then? We are okay then. Yeah. It didn't make the cricket in the test game because it's not in the manifest. So let's add it to the manifest. So yeah, that's actually, this is doing what we kind of expect. Cauldron. This we'll see if it actually can create the game though. So let's see. Noisy cricket, and can load the like character controller. All right, so we did get an error. We couldn't find the class. But it's trying. I think it's not using the right namespace, maybe. Let me just update this to be more clear about what it's actually doing. Cauldron.cricket. Promos. I guess, yeah, I need to use string.format. Log out the variants that are in here to see what it's actually passing through. Yeah, so bunker.workshopping, or yeah, bunker has workshopping.wayward bunker. Baron Blade has that. Cauldron.cricket has that. Okay, so that's actually fine. But the mod helper is unhappy about it. Maybe we can have it log out like what's the actual class name it's trying to load. That would be useful. Get type for card controller. Right. So it's using... Oh, but this is a non-qualified deck identifier. But we want it to be qualified for that case. Right. So it needs to be qualified if it's for another mod, basically. Which we can do in here by just like trying it as a qualified identifier as well. Oh, but it's not, it can't because it doesn't know what it is. I guess we could try it with this namespace, right? basically we can like do this to make it a little more clear. So this would be like, oh no, and what we need to be passing in we need to pass in the qualified identifier. It's not, right? It's not that simple, because this is like, we're asking my mod about that cauldron deck. So what is it actually looking for? I guess it's looking for cauldron dot whatever dot whatever. So it's not putting, like, I want it to be, well, I guess it's looking for workshopping dot cricket. Okay, so actually what we just need to do is not have the cauldron namespace in our code. We just do this namespacing workshopping.cricket instead, and then it might just work. I don't know if that's good or not, but it's what it's trying to do right now, I think. Oh yeah, no errors at all. So let's see if we can play it. Cricket. I don't know why it's down here. I guess it's not alphabetized in the list. Sonar burst, hide and seek. A little Midgie. There it is. All right, let's put in some other stuff. See if our power works. Lots of errors about graphics, probably. I'm going to assume for now it's all graphics. Okay, we got, like, I assume cards that belong to Cricket. Destroy living force field. And let's use our power to destroy ourselves. Yep, that worked. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. We made a variant of Cricket. So yeah, so the loading order is not working, right? So if we make ours load first, it's going to be like, couldn't find that. That's a problem. Now, it's not an error that doesn't work. I think. Like, we're getting engine errors, but if you, like, have a mod that has variants of something else, you know, the other mod, like, it's not an error that you don't have that other mod, right? Like, so that's something we need to potentially be, like, more careful about. We do want to, like, be able to load as much as we can. But like if you just don't even have the cauldron here at all, right? Like we should still be able to load our mod. It just doesn't. This should like maybe print out warnings or even errors, but not like stop you from loading the mod, which right now it is. Like it's good, a little aggressive right now. And also this should not be showing the continue file because it's not going to work. That deck is not there and everything's going to break. Yeah. So that check needs to be improved. But first let's see. So like that's fine. Like having that error show up. That's happening because that promo check actually. I think, right? Load promo card list. But then here we got an exception when we tried to create the variant, and that is happening in the game constructor actually. So I think what we need to do is actually be a little smarter and like check to before we like try to do that game creation, we check to see like is that variant like available. So let's go. It's a good setup here because just like that mod isn't there, so it doesn't really matter about the ordering. Yeah, so we need to test if the definition is available, right? So basically like filter and any variants. Oh. Where there is no definition. So maybe we just like do that in here. Like if we go mod helper, get promo definition. Yeah. Can we do like promos.remove where? No, I guess you can't do that. Yeah, I guess we can check in here. Could be depending on another mod that's not installed. Okay, so if we can like do a warning or something. So if it's not null, then we actually assign it to this promos dictionary. Promo identifier. And I guess here we need to check if you might have a case where all of the variants are missing, so there's no need to like test nothing. So let's see. Right, could not check. Why not? Get promo definition. Oh, because we need a non-qualified promo identifier for that. But it didn't. It let Cricket happen. That's funny. What? All right, I think we need the engine load to check to do something better here. So let's go. Back into the engine for a second. So load promo card list. Caches the promo card definitions. See, shouldn't it be saying something about we get an error, but it's not actually. Oh, this is not useful. Deck definition could not load resource for Cricket. Fine. But it didn't fail at the spot where it should. Like it should be saying, this is where it's looking for the deck definition. And it should be failing. It should be logging this. But we're not getting there. Or it's not. Is this returning like not returning null? Right. This doesn't return null if it fails. It returns like a new object that has failed to load, which is not great. This is the only thing that ever that uses that. So we can, I think we want to return null if this is, well, unless it's depending on this being null to mean something. Because of scions. I guess we can, instead of null checking, we can like add a field that's like, is it null? Is it valid? god. Autocomplete. Freaking out. Because I put... True if the definition was properly loaded. Alright, so our constructors call initialize or load JSON. Initialize calls load JSON. So we have to get into load JSON to be correct. And so let's just like go to the, we get like to the bottom of this and everything's fine. Okay. So then this other thing, if it's null, we can also check if we could just have a different error, I guess. Unable to load deck definition for we don't try to put in garbage, basically. And I wonder if basically everywhere that this is being used. I mean, one thing we could just do is say, instead of doing this, let's go back. I wonder if it breaks everything if we just return null back if go to this and say if result that is valid, do this, result is null. This might break the world. Let's run the tests with this change. But it's a more generalized improvement, I think, right? If it is okay. And we just didn't compile because of a stray business. Well, we don't have a huge string of failures immediately, which means that we didn't totally break everything, but we'll, especially Oblivion, we'll see if that passes. So go take a quick break while this is running. Some failures. Might be some flaky tests. Those are things that are, these are probably just flaky tests, and these ignored are because there's some issues with save and load .NET on Mac, unfortunately. These are probably just flaky tests. I know and locus applied numerology tests need to be fixed up. They fail randomly a lot. But otherwise, looking pretty good with this change. Basically, if we fail to load the deck definition, just return null. Which I guess we could still cache that, because then we don't need to like try to look it up every time. Right now I was like, don't cache it, but we can still cache it. Still cache null for invalid ones, so we stop looking them up. So like that, basically. And let's just try rewriting one of these tests. Yeah, it passed. Okay, so let's build. And now, instead of it like returning an invalid deck definition, it'll return null. And then our code will like understand. Yeah, promo card list is entry for Cauldron Cricket that was not found. That's what we wanted. And yeah, this error could not check the promo, ignoring what we want. These are should not be ignored, but I think it's because of the namespace. Forgot what's happening there. So under, yeah, this is in our test variants. Right, so get promo definition. Right, this is for, we don't want the in mod promos, right? External promos are for external deck. Basically. And we can say yeah, so if it's for an external deck, we need to just check. Otherwise, we don't. Otherwise, we just do it. Yeah, because right, it's just doing a wrong check here. Oh, and here we need to test variants. These are true for external, and these are, oh. Come on, put a comma. You can do it. Okay, success. So it does throw an error, but it doesn't. And then it explains what's going on, basically. It ignores that promo, so it doesn't fail to load that mod anymore because it couldn't find it. So if we go new game, we should still have our, we still have our mod content from my mod, which is good. And actually even, pending the loading order issue fixing, we should be able to run this and have both mods but not have that cricket variant, I think. Or we just get this null reference. Oh, I bet this is assuming deck definition is not going to be null or whatever. And then we are getting it, maybe? Where's this coming from? Villains are turn taker. Object reference not set. Our villains should be null. Let's see if this is repeatable. Yup. Okay. So basically we create a game and then we look for the bottom card of the play area. But basically this is saying that villains is null, which doesn't make sense. Oh, we're failing to load an assembly because of... Okay, let's just fix this earlier error. Right, so if definition is not null, I guess previously this could never return null and now it can, so that's potentially an issue. Though, I don't know why it was failing. Let's try again. Alright, we don't have a null reference there anymore. We are getting this. What? Villains is obviously not null. Let's just write this log. Something is null in one of these things that I wasn't expecting. Cauldron.cricket is coming up as a villain because null is being assumed to be a Scion turn taker. That's what's going on. But why is cricket getting into that? Available decks. Oh, yeah, that's weird. It's because of the mod loading order, right? That's happening. because it's actually loading that one, and then it's considered to be null, and then that's being a problem. So if we fix the mod ordering issue, it should be okay. I think what's happening is it's the promo list thing for the first mod is like trying to load the cricket definition, and then it's remembering that that's null. So actually, maybe we just say that it shouldn't remember that things are null, because then it doesn't replace it later when it actually finds it, which is okay, but maybe dangerous. So let's just change that I just changed. I think that's the thing I just changed, basically. So yeah, so basically here, we're not going to cache null. That's what's going on there, I'm pretty sure. It's not a huge deal if we don't cache it, I don't think. Because we end up basically failing on like a pretty early step. We don't actually load the JSON, we just like fail to load the type, and then might just throw a lot of errors, I guess. So it's just because the game is assuming if it's null definition, then it's a scion. So okay, so yeah, that's fine. And we shouldn't get cricket here. Yeah. Right, so we should see that our special cricket variant isn't there. Yeah, there's actually no variance on cricket, which seems wrong. Maybe it's right. I don't know. Let's fix the ordering anyways. So I think we want to change this, or keep this engine change. At least we'll commit this one. Yeah. Should have variance? Yeah, so I'll be taking a look at that. So, okay. So, basically this is, yeah, improve mod load testing. So we need to fix that ordering issue. So basically what we need to do is not load the promos right away, which there is a thing for that already. I just need to do it. So mod manager, in load mods, we just need to say here, don't load the promo card list. And then okay. Now that we have loaded all the mods, we can load their promo lists. So here, just like running this should actually, I guess, yeah, the test. Yeah, what we should do is make a separate function here, right? Which is test external variants. And do that separately. Because internal variants don't need this, but external ones do. Okay, so this should work. We just won't have any. I don't think that does this. Yeah, this doesn't. This just like selects them. It doesn't actually do them. So we're not. We don't see any errors because we're not actually testing those anymore. And we get an error because we didn't load them. Probably. Maybe. Promo helper is probably looking at the manifest, right? Oh yeah, it's calling get promo definition, which isn't like allowed to be called yet because we haven't loaded it. We actually probably need to not allow you to go into new game and other things too until mods are loaded. That's another thing to do on the main menu. I guess we can do that here. This dot new game button. And on mobile, it's just like always available. Or update. Continue button. We can just rename this. Show new game button. No clicking too quick before mods are loaded, basically. Yeah, okay. So right, so in the mod manager, we need to now, at the end of loading those mods, we need to load the promos. Where's our load mods? Yeah, so for each mod, we like successfully loaded, basically. Mod helper, load promo card list. And we can, it's a manifest. Mod.namespace, mod.assembly, mod.dll. No. Why do we shouldn't have to pass the assembly anymore. Yeah. Let's just do that and we'll make it support that. So and we'll like remove it from. Guess we can like do this. Enumerate them like that. Or we just do to list and then we can change it. If you for each and then you Loaded mods dot remove. Let's say, or we probably want to like call more stuff. We'll just do that for now, and let's just go to the engine, and if you pass null, it can like look up the assembly based on the namespace, right? So that's okay. We can do a little check here. Just get out of here. Okay, that should let us pass in null. Okay. All right, no errors. So we first load our AAA, then CCC, and then we, I mean, it doesn't say anything, but we haven't actually run the test or whatever. So let's go back to Sentinels. Let's just throw a log in here so we know what's happening. Guess we can go like that. And basically, if success, else. We can test it. Mod. I guess we probably didn't make that public. Mod test external variants, and then do that. So then, and then here we can check if not success. Remove the mod. Maybe mod helper.remove assembly. I don't know. That might be like it's a problem. I think we need to do that after. The problem is if something else depends on it, but it like loaded enough, you could have like a chain of mods, right? That like, could you have a chain of mods? Not really, right? You can only have variant for one other thing. You could have a cycle, I guess, though. Like one mod has variants for another mod, and that mod has variants for the first mod. And so if one of them fails, how do you gotta remove both? I don't know. Just make everything work the first time. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so we got, right, this should be if not success. It's like, that is not correct. Yeah, Jake, the problem is that, like, you can't have more than one link, right? Because you can't have, like, there's no variant of a variant. It's just a variant of a deck, and a deck exists in one place. So it's just A to B back to A. It's the only way that you could have a cycle. Right, so we loaded the promo card list, and we tested that, and that was good. So now we go into, see if that variant for cricket is there. Variants, yeah, all the variants are there. So I think we weren't loading the promo card list or whatever. Like, we weren't loading, and there's the variant, so cool. That is good. Now it doesn't matter to the order. Well, yeah, because we loaded our mod first, and then we loaded Cauldron. Oh, right. So if you, B could have a variant for C, C has a variant for A, which is a variant for B. So if we like unloaded one of those mods, that could cause problems. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is like maybe we don't unload the mod if it has a problem like that. I'll have to think about it. So I just commented that out for now. Cool. So I think that is solving the issues that we had with mods not loading the right order. Because now we're loading our mod that depends on Cauldron, but it's able to load that first without the variants, load the Cauldron without the variants, then it can populate the variants for each one afterwards. And that seems to be good. And we can even double check that things load in the other order fine as well. And then we're also waiting until mods are loaded to show these buttons. So yeah, we didn't get, well, we're getting errors now, but it's because we're missing graphics. Our loading was fine, and we have our characters and our variants and everything. I think the sorting maybe wasn't working right because of an error or something before. Cool. So let's commit that stuff, because that's pretty good. That's working pretty well. Yeah. If null assembly. Look it up. Okay. And we update the DLL. And yeah, this is basically hide new game button until mods are loaded. We might make that a little nicer than just like disappearing and appearing, but it's good for now. And here is delay promo card loading, or I guess external promo card, until all mods are loaded in case of dependencies. I guess we should, and we check again that, like, if we don't have the Cauldron, everything is fine. We get, like, yeah, we get an error that says, and this error is continuing to happen because we're not caching that. I guess we could cache the deck definition that's as the not valid and then check that everywhere, but we need to check that everywhere. So for now, it's just going to be like this, and I'll think about it. And then we have, yeah, we have our own heroes, and everything is working fine for that. So one thing I wanted to put in is just a little quick handy thing, which is if there's no artwork for a variant, I wanted to show the promo title and not like just continue saying this. So what's that label called? Variant name label. I mean, it literally says variant name label, and then it's not. Title label. This might be just in the new game screen. I think it's everywhere though. Card view. Oops. UI card view. This. Title label. Where do we set the text? Update title for card view. Right, so this is basically because like regular cards. So what if we say promo title or title here? Because like flipped promo title. Oh, right. Yeah, because certain cards have a different title on their side, but villains don't. So what if you just use this? I think it's going to be fine because like regular cards don't have promo titles. And the only title labels we show are on regular cards normally. I mean, we show them on character cards if there's no art, basically. Should make it a little easier to use and develop mods without art yet. If your things say the promo title, but maybe those promo titles aren't set. It's possible. We're getting an errors, actually. No, there's just textures missing. Where's mine? I'm pretty sure I'm setting. Oh, here's another. Yeah, these are all just using. That's in game. This is where it sets the text. This is for Scions. Promo title or title should be, I assume, picking up the promo title. I just want this to be easier. Yeah, so if promo title is null or empty, we use title, otherwise we use promo title. And promo title is here. So, and like in my mod, my Baron Blade, it's the easiest one to look at every time, has promo title Baron Jeremy, so that should be coming up. Let's take another look. Maybe it's just not updating that label when we change it. Yeah, because when we pull up the full card, Baron Jeremy. So we're just not updating the title of the card when we toggle variants, I think. That is, because I bet if we start the game, it'll say Baron Jeremy. So I think that's the missing piece. It's just not updating when we change it. So if we choose it and go fight. Oh, we get the mod graphics not available. But also, it is saying Baron Jeremy up there. So, let's go to Sentinels. Getting warm. Hoodie throw. Right, update title for card view. So, there's like toggle variant or something like that. I don't know. There's a game setup card view, right? There's a function that gets called on it whenever the variants change. Yeah. Show variant. Yeah, so this is updating the image. We can also update the title. Oh yeah, actually here it's using card.title. It should be using card.promo. Definition.promo title or title. That's only if it's locked. It's interesting. So card.title is actually the right thing. Right, but this was using just the card. Right, this was using card.title. Interesting. Interesting. So I'm wondering if I would think this would make the title disappear, but it's not. What if we just throw in a card UI card view factory update title for card view? Hey, Baron Jeremy. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's not like, as long as it's not like putting wrong stuff on real cards, it's just mod stuff, basically. And we get to see, you actually get to see stuff if you don't have artwork files, so. Where's our cricket? Yeah, noisy cricket. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we'll just say show promo titles on cards when there is no artwork. Cool. All right, let's push up these changes. I guess I pushed up the engine changes already. Push up the UI changes and see where we are on the Trello board. White and black quotes. Okay, so yeah, load promo cards, test mod variants with game creation after all materials load. Perfect. Those things are happening. So error handling is happening now. So important change with error handling, if you didn't come in earlier, is that if you don't have a character card controller for something defined in your definition, it will fail to load now. So you will need to at least have a stub class for everything. All right, so, and I think that fixes that as well. All right. Exciting times. So the next things I was looking at were potentially some more visual stuff, like a screen that shows what mods you have loaded. I also want to get the placeholder artwork stuff started, like to be able to like use it for your content right now. I think it's pretty useful to have a screen that shows you what mods are loaded though, instead of having to look at the log. And also, like, if your mod fails to load, it can like try to say why. So that's kind of what I want to look at now. I also want to have a thing that indicates mod content on the screen. So let's do that first. That should be pretty easy. And basically what I want to do for that is similar to what Slay the Spire does, is when you bring up a full card, it will show you. So like if I bring this up, I want to show like here or somewhere on the screen that like this content is from the mod and like what mod it is. Because obviously there is showing it, but like if there's graphics, I don't know. That doesn't have a graphic for some reason, but this has a full card. Yeah. So like this needs to be clear that it's mod content. And so probably I think something in the special strings area might work. Like this effect list panel. I don't know if there's a default one in there. I guess not. I guess we can grab one. Full card panel. Where is that? I guess this could tell me what's your prefab. Effect list widget. Effect entry. We like add one in here. I guess we can. It says original in the corner. Yeah, that is for foil. Which is not really supported with mods, so maybe I'll just turn it off right now and we can do that. But yeah, or this is for foil support, so when you can toggle foil and original art, which can be supported for mods, but honestly not planning to support it, so maybe part of this is turning that off for mods and having it show that it's mods in that spot. It's also also for environment stuff, and when you're in game. So like we go in game and do that. That control is not there in game, obviously. It's where we show other things, like how many cards are in Baron Blade's trash and stuff like that. Or this would show there are no mobile defense platform cards in play. So a sort of easy thing to do would be just to make this say have an entry in there that always says something like mod content from your mod name here or something like that. And then like if there are more, they like would add on, like it'd be a separate line in those effects when you can have multiple effects. Or like, you know, Omnitron X has a thing that says like how much damage he's taken this turn and stuff like that. There are no trick cards. So yeah, there are other areas on screen, but that's a good spot because it's already sort of set up to be dynamic. There's other things that show up on the screen in different places, like complexity goes down there, variance button goes down there. That's the foil toggle. So that's honestly a good spot. Up here is pretty busy with like new game screen stuff as well. Next two cards, next and previous buttons can appear. Right, that can happen for villains. Titles can happen. Oblivion has a next page button. Achievement indicators go down here for game content, but that wouldn't be a thing with mods, so that's potentially a place that could work. We have this text button to show or hide text. Yeah, so I guess like down in this corner is okay, because there's not going to be an achievement displayed for mods. So let's see, let's go back to the new game screen. Look at like a villain. Yeah, so like down here could say the mod information, or like across here or something like that. Team villains take up a bit of that space though, maybe. Yeah, so it would need to be like sort of in this corner next to the text button, which I think is all right. And then I just dislike a little bit using the effect list because it's sort of easy to miss and not. It's more of just like I just want to make sure it's clear if people are sharing screenshots or whatever that like what's official content and what isn't is important for those reasons. So yeah, I think down here, because there's not going to be achievements for mod content, so down here is a good place. Actually should make sure that achievement dialogue is not showing up for mod villains. That super is, so we'll just use that. Okay, so let's do that. Full card view, bottom left. Hide achievement indicator for mod content. Okay, so let's do that. And I think that's sufficient, just having it in the full card panel, so you can tell where this thing is from. Okay, so what we want to do is open up the full card panel and edit that. Let's just close all this stuff. That's where the achievement indicator is as well. And the first thing we can do is disable that for mod content. So we only show it not in game. We also check to see if it's not mod content. So that should be pretty straightforward. Let's check that and just make sure our thing is good there. Yeah, so we're not showing it there, but if we go to choke point, it's showing. Cool. So that's a pretty easy check. Don't show achievement indicator on mod content. Okay, but we want to show where the mod is from, so we need to add like something to that panel. So that panel is a prefab, and we're in the old version of Unity where we can't just open the prefab. We have to actually like put it in a scene and whatever. So we can just put it in the splash screen and then not save the scene. So achievement indicator is down here. We're going to put it in the same spot. And this is using NGUI, so it's weird and different. But let's see if I remember how to do it. So basically we want to have something like one of these little boxes. So we basically want to have like a sprite. Right, we have to go to the NGUI menu, create sprite. We'll call it mod indicator. And it decides on something by default. We'll pick this, and we'll anchor it to the left, and the left, and the bottom, and the bottom. And it's going to be like 10. be sliced. There we go. Like 100 across. 150 across. We'll see what it looks like down there. And then 10 from the bottom. And say like 100 tall. Right, so this is a little too wide. We don't want it to run into that button. And cool. And then we can add a label into the middle of it. And GUI create label. And the font can be red state, blue state is fine, but no gradient, just black. Mod. Content. And then like mod name here. And we'll make the font auto size. Well, we'll make it fill the space. From the top, from the bottom. Oh, I always do those backwards. Oh, and this needs to be -10. No. Oh, this needs to be, these need to be both. Yeah, there's. Okay, that's good. And what do we got here? Yeah, shrink the content. So if you like make a really long mod name, it'll do that. And center it. Okay. So that looks good, I guess. Let's give it some sort of color. I guess the mods don't have a background color, but we could let you specify one for that, I suppose. I guess we'll just leave it white for now and see what Jennifer wants to do with it. Okay, so that is that. I believe this is default turned off, so let's... We also need to like put a reference to it. I don't think we need to like make a class for it or anything like that. It's pretty basic. Game object, mod, content, indicator, just like mod indicator. Mod indicator label. We could make a class, like achievement indicator is a class because it's like got more to do with this. It has a lot of going on, but this is basically like show it and set the label. Like there's not a lot going on there, so. So let's hook those up. If it ends up being something that we use again in other places, maybe we'll make a class, but I think it's not that. Okay. And we apply the prefab. And then save project. And now in the new game screen, it should be there as well because it's in the prefab. I think I turned it off by default. Maybe I left it on. I guess I left it on. So there it is. We'll have it turn off, and we'll probably have it be turned off by default. I mean, it doesn't need to be turned off by default, really. But we can do that. Apply. Okay, so here. Okay, so basically wherever we're updating the achievement indicator, we want to also update the mod indicator. getting a little out of control, these update functions, but that's what happens when you add a little thing, and then you add another little thing, and then you add another little thing. We'll do a null check because this is not going to be on the whatchamacallit. On the phone version. So, or at least right now it's not going to be. So, okay. If they become DLC or something, then maybe they will show a mod, maybe they'll show something else, I don't know. So if we show it, I guess we're always going to be doing this. And then, but if we're showing it, we're going to set the label as well. Let's just do that for now. Okay, so where are we calling this? We also want to call this. Yeah, this is with variants. So there's sometimes we want to show, sometimes we want to update things, sometimes we don't. That's why these are separated out to different things. All right, so if we run this, I think we should, don't know how the new game screen is going to be working with lots of mods in terms of its timing. It might freak out. Texture files, maybe it's okay. So Baron Blade doesn't show it, but if I go to, oh yeah, we don't even show the the promo list didn't load in time. But if we, yeah, we get the first mod in the list here if we run it directly. But we got this mod content, mod name here, so that's good. So we need to populate that. So what we need to do is basically get the mod manager dot instance dot find mod for namespace. And I guess we can say unknown. And mod indicator label. I guess it's just, yeah, it's like mod content. It's a new line. And then mod name. That's it, I guess. So if mod is not null, we can use its name. But if it's for some reason missing, I don't know how, but we'll do it. Check there again. Yeah, decks have a background color, characters do, but mods themselves don't. Which we could, like, that might be useful for like the screen showing mods or whatever. So we might get there, but we'll mod.name. And that name is what you define in your thing, not the folder name. So if we do this, it should show that it's from the cauldron. Mod content. So that is doing CCC. I want it to pick up the name that's, do we have a display name in the manifest? I'm pretty sure we do, right? Title. Okay. Title. So we'll call this title. Oops. Stomach is growling. I feel like I'm in an anime. Okay. So now mod content cauldron, even though our folder is named like whatever. And then it will wrap if it's like something longer, like is the best. This is a long name. Wow, wow, wow. Let's see. It'll be like whoever writes in those letters to Christopher and Adam. It's like master of the underworld, creator of foolishness, the longest name that you have ever heard of, Esquire. Yeah, so it'll eventually shrink till you can't read it, but it'll be there. We could make that mod content part be a separate label, but this will do for now. This is just having it in there at all is kind of the goal for this. So I'll fix the title so it's not doing that. Okay, so I think we're pretty happy with that. Basic, but functional. And wow, basic. Xander. Mod indicator to full card panel. So and that should work in game as well, so we can actually just double check that, but there's no reason it wouldn't. Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's coming through in the microphone. My stomach is having a party. So if we pull up like a mod villain, say, oh yeah, I want to make sure that their character card shows it, but also their like, yeah, their deck cards do as well. And environment, yeah, we can just double check that like environments do too. Look at the environment deck. Yeah, mod content. Cool. That is what I want. That can look more pretty later. All right, so a screen to see what mods you have loaded. Yeah, I think we could take a crack at that. We could also look at some more placeholder art stuff. So if you have any preference in the chat, let me know. We have a bunch of these that Jennifer's been making. So basically I can look at starting work on including them in a way that they can show up automatically if there's no art for something, basically. So if I look in, I think Jennifer has a folder somewhere. Maybe, I don't know if maybe I'm not ready to do that. Maybe I'll get prepared to do that next time, or maybe I'll just do it offline. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Something else I'd like is expansion identifiers allowing filtering to specific mods. What do you mean by that, Jake? Pazuzumaki likes art. I agree. But I don't think I'm ready to do that today in the like an hour and a half I have left. Or subsections of mods since Cauldron is for expansion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. So can you be more elaborate, I guess? Okay, so yeah, let's make a start on a screen to show what mods are loaded. Like how you can sort to Infernal Relic decks in new game. Oh, so you can like turn off decks here. Sure. Yeah, we could potentially add a way for mods to have an entry on here. It's not this screen. This thing is not meant to show more than what is there. So we would need to add some support for that, and obviously mods would need to be able to do stuff. But I think more likely on a mod list screen is where you can enable and disable mods, right? So I think that's more something we can do in this screen that I'm going to create right now. So basically we can like think about what kind of screen we want here. I don't know if I have a template scene. Not really. I guess the deck browser menu is kind of similar. It is a scrolling list of stuff. And so we can use that as a start. Yeah, what I'm roughly thinking about is, I don't have that program installed on this computer, I don't think, do I? I have a program that lets me mock up stuff, but I didn't install it on this computer yet. Let me see if I can download it. This one. I don't know if it's even going to work on this computer, but it's worth a try. So I'm doing this off screen. All right, this is the program. It's called Mocks. Yeah, and the list of mods is where there'll be a mod deck browser as well. And I can probably just use, what I'll probably have it do is just use this same screen, but like pass in like the mod, and then basically you go from like the mod list screen that we're going to create here, and then it has a button to like show the deck browser, and then it would show you this screen but with just the stuff that's in the mod, and then it can still navigate into this screen but just the stuff that's in the mod, basically. So it's basically the same interface and the same screen, but focused on that mod. And hey, this background could be colored, so that mod background color ID is not a bad idea, actually. Let me add a card for that. Mod background color idea. Mod manifest could define a color code to be used in various places. Whoops. Oh, come on. No, places. Like mod content indicator, deck, browser, menu, background, and like obviously mod list screen. We're gonna use it wherever needed. Just don't make it like black on black or something. Okay, so for this, I would typically choose landscape. All right, so probably would have like a back button in the left corner. Yeah, but I thought there's a thing for back button. This is like an older, bit of an older version of this program, but so that's why it looks like iOS 6. But it's good enough. It does the job. It doesn't need to look good. It just needs to show what's going on. So Slay the Spires one, I kind of like how it's set up. It's like you kind of have like your list on the left here, and then you click on one and you get like details. I guess I can just run that. We're going to play Slay the Spire for a second. Let's pull it up. play with mods. It does have this really awful mod loader that comes up. I mean, it's fine, I guess, but it's like, ugh. And all this stuff comes up, and then finally the game will come up. And then there's a mods thing in the menu, and then you've got, I mean, this is a pretty basic UI. You can click on the mod, and it just spams out all the information about the mod here. And they have some configuration that mods can have, but that's not something we really need. But basically, that's sort of hierarchical, like, here's your mods, and information, and then, like, you know, more navigation or whatever. And the loader, like, lets you turn them on and off. I think that's a technical limitation of Slay the Spire, is that the mods need to be, like, decided before the thing launches. But we don't need that, really. We can just try to load whatever is available, and then if it fails, we don't load it. Okay, so yeah, so basically we want a table over here with list of mods, and these could have like checkboxes to like say to turn them on and off or something potentially, and then your like information over here. And maybe like stats up here, I don't know. So yeah, so for each mod, I think you want to have like the title. I guess it's mod title. And then like probably like sort of little like bullet points almost of like author, version, whatever, bullet points, and like a bigger text area, which is the description. I mean, there's not really that. Potentially, instead of having like a separate screen for the deck browser, we could just sort of include it in this. There's also like, this is probably going to also be the place where like you upload your mods to Steam Workshop. So there's room for like extra controls and stuff in here. So like if there isn't like a lot, that's okay. It could like just sort of list the contents here as well. Potentially. And there could be an image. I think that's required for Steam Workshop, is to have an image, so that can be loaded up here as well somewhere in this space. I haven't really done a ton. I know Steam Workshop developer. They've got like guidelines and stuff. Integration work. Uploading entries from authors. Oh yeah, credits, that's a good idea. So maybe this is just like credits, and then like here's like contents can just like go to the deck browser screen, right? Just curious like what sort of images are supported by Steam Workshop. I guess we can look at like a workshop, like Slay the Spire workshop. Show me the items. Say the Spire. Oh, cool. Accessibility mode. So there's like just one image here. Oh, I guess they can have multiple images, screenshots or whatever. Set item title, description, metadata, preview image. Yeah, so this is stuff we can get from Steam Workshop. As well. Can you have primary preview images? How do you set more than one image? Steam Cloud shows that. Additional images. Okay. Right, there's this whole user-generated content API that is a lot. Yeah, so credits needs to scroll for sure. Have a scroll bar. Yeah, so something probably like maybe we put like an image here or something. And then like sort of like text based on that side. We get a little image over here. That's nice. And sort of metadata. And then basically like this can just be like it has like X amount of content and click here to view it kind of situation. And then the bottom half is like the credits. That probably works pretty well. And I think on the list of mods, like each one can have like a checkbox. Oh, I guess if there's like an error loading it, it would show it over here. Like, so yeah, like each mod would have something like, let's make another box. So like, a checkbox. Maybe on the right. And oh. And then if it's loaded, it's like checked. And if it fails to load, it's like you can't even change it. It'll just be indicated there. And then if there's an error, it would come in here and like there would be information about the error. So maybe I guess in this contents won't be able to be populated. So that could have the error or error information. Or like if you choose to not load it, I guess. So yeah, so that's kind of an idea of the screen. And like potentially up here, I mean, this could just be like a title, obviously. It could have like some stats about how much things are loaded or something like that, potentially. All right, let's save this. Yeah. So that's the idea of this screen. Basically, similar to that. The goal of this is so you can see what mods you have loaded, and like unload them if you don't want them. And then I think if you, let me group these things together. Oh, maybe I can't. No, what if I do this? Remember if, I guess I don't need to type that in here, but basically like if you disable a mod in here, then it won't load next time either. So so let's add a checklist to this here. So list of mods, detail area, and enable/disable mod. Remember for next launch. Show errors if the mod couldn't load. So it'll show any mod. If you have a folder in that, if you have a folder in the mods folder, it'll be here. And if it fails to load, it'll show you like why it failed. If it succeeded, then like great. I guess we might want to see like folder name because it might not be the exact same. So sure, if the mod couldn't load, yeah, and I'll make a new checklist, which is like details. We want title, author, version, description, contents, summary, and credits, which I think some of these things aren't in the manifest yet, but we'll make sections for the manifest. And we want to navigate to deck browser for the mod content. Cool. So yeah, that's basically what we need to support on this screen. And so in the future, this screen is going to also support, later this screen will also be where you go to upload your mod to Steam Workshop, potentially to discover and download mods, I think. Because you can always like browse mods on Steam like this, but a lot of games and there's API support to browse mods in game and like just install them immediately and stuff like that, which we could certainly support. I don't know that this screen design doesn't really support browsing mods. It would probably be a new screen or something that would come from the screen. It'd be like a button to like add mod, like get more mods or something like that. But maybe up in the top right here, like get mods. Put up in the corner, and that would open a new screen. I feel it, but uploading your mod could certainly be like just a dialogue on this screen. So, and like basically like these would become editable fields, maybe, or I mean it would just come from your manifest. So, yeah, this is going to come from the main menu, Topher. So that is a good question, though. Where in the main menu? I think it's going to be basically one of these buttons is going to become half button, like the buttons at the bottom. And so maybe get expansion packs, probably. I don't know. One of these buttons will be cut in half, and then it'll be, mods or workshop or something like that. Not today, though. Have to figure that out. All right, so now that we got this design, we can probably start working on it. And so I'm just going to go take a quick break. I'll be right back. Part of the design is BRB. That's so fine. That's fine. I'll be right back. All right. More water. All right. So let us make a screen. So I'm just going to duplicate a scene because it has like all the setup and everything for it. What is it? The scene that's most similar to this is probably Deck Browser after all. It's just like it has a scrolling area we can just resize. I mean, so does credits, I guess. Credits is pretty simple. Credits looks like this. Yeah, maybe we'll copy this one. It's got less going on. Not that either of them have a whole lot going on. And I guess we'll call it mods. Seems fine. Mods scene. Maybe that's a weird name. Mod list. Mod browser. Mod browser feels like a scene to go and get mods. Mods, I guess, is fine. Just seems like too simple. Too simple for a scene name. But I suppose it'll do. Okay, so we don't need some of these things. Well, we do need. We basically want to compact some things. So right now, yeah, we don't need feedback button. We don't need this button. We don't want credits view controller. We don't need user reporting on this screen. Or, cool, this is an old feedback thing. I don't think we use that anymore. We have a background sprite. That seems fine. Don't need a version label. And we don't need these credits labels. All right, we got our back button. Okay, so we basically want to have a area for the list, and we want to have an area for the details. And usually we do that with a panel, but the scroll view is its own panel. I guess this can just be like, right now it's like filling the whole area, but we can tell it to not do that. We can say we're going to be on the left side, and we're going to be like 300 wide or whatever. I guess we're going to have a background for it and stuff like that, but that can just be sort of wherever. Yeah, it's kind of a weird setup because this is like a full screen. What if we just create an NGUI scroll view here? What does it do? Yeah, it just sort of puts it in the middle. I think we can create like widgets for our areas. List container. It's going to be like this. Make the scene view a little bigger. Our list is going to be like basically that. And our detail container. I mean, I guess we could use Unity UI for this screen. There's no real need for us to use NGUI for this screen, and that will make life easier because we will eventually want to move towards Unity UI. Maybe we don't. Yeah, maybe actually we don't use NGUI for this screen and make my life easier. Also, I'm editing the credits scene because I'm dumb. So let's undo that. That's why we use Git. Do we have a scene that's in Unity UI? We use Unity UI in Sentinels only a little bit because when we first made Sentinels, it was like in beta and it wasn't really solid. This is a good opportunity to use Unity UI though, yeah, part of the problems is that like we don't have the graphics in that format, but we use it for text chat. So if we pull up this is in Unity UI, using event system, canvas, and everything like that. So we have some graphic resources that we can make use of. So maybe we should just do that. Then I don't have to do it. Then I don't have to mess around with NGUI, which is annoying. And I would like to move away from it for the entire game, but that is a huge amount of work. Even this UI root here, this is an NGUI. The text chat button or whatever is an NGUI, and then the window comes up in Unity UI, which is on top. So that's nice. Yeah, we're using reference resolution 1280 by 720 for that. So why don't we do that instead? So instead of all this, delete all that, delete all that. Maybe just delete the scene and create scene from scratch. can't open. It's it's open, but deleted. And UI make a panel. Bomb. It makes our canvas for us. Screen space overlay is totally fine here. I do like to use scale of screen size though. And yeah. Let's do that. So there's our main background panel. It can just be black. Or whatever we want it to be. And then we can add, it's just so much easier to work in Unity UI, like so much easier. This panel is going to stick to the left, and it's going to be filling the screen. Like you can just do this, it's so much easier than NGUI. So like 10 off and 300 wide, I guess. 400 wide? Maybe. It's like 100 from the top, 10 from the bottom. Room for a back button, maybe 80 from the top. We have like our list panel and our detail panel. You've seen us working in other games where we use Unity UI generally. And right, this is basically going to be the rest of the screen. So we can do full screen and 80 from the top, and then like this. We could use a layout, but it's fine to do it like this, I think. 10 from the bottom, 10 from the right. Cool. So here's our, basically our rough layout like we laid out there. We could make a little title at the top. We don't have Text Mesh Pro in Sentinels, do we? That's okay though. We might want to add it. Then that's like another set of fonts. But I mean, that's where we're going to go eventually, is Text Mesh Pro. I wonder how easy it is to add that in with this older version of Unity. I think we'll just make regular text objects and replace them later. And we have a font. I guess we can use even red state, blue state, and everything like that. Or crash landing, like we can use those. Put this up at the top. Make it like yellow. Make it bigger. Make the whole thing bigger. Don't overflow so I can still see it. There we go. Mods. And this font doesn't like you to use capital letters. Cool. Ugly screen. And oh right, I thought we saved it as this scene name, but I guess it didn't. Scenes. Mods. Weird. Okay. It said gave this error again, but I think it worked. Let's just make sure. We don't do too much without it actually saving. Mods. Cool. All right. So then making like tables and stuff is super easy compared to NGUI, because we can just like add a vertical layout group or a grid layout group to like just make stuff happen. Like you can just do like boop 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 boop. Make things. And grid is, I find the grid layout group is a little easier to work with than the vertical layout group. So we can say we got some padding. Cell size is 380 to go across. I like 60. Seems good. A little spacing in between. And look at that. Beautiful. Add and delete them. They just like, they work. You don't have to mess around with them, tell it to relay out or things like that. It's just nice. And then we'll make a prefab for these. So we'll call this mod list entry. And we'll have a look at this, and we'll create a name label. Yeah, we would normally use TextMesh Pro, but this project doesn't have it, and Package Manager isn't a thing in this version of Unity. And so getting TextMesh Pro into here is just more than I want to look at today. So I guess this is title label. Let's just get the screen like basically roughly working. And I think that'll be cool. So let's just make this fill the space for now. And center. And make it black. And best fit. All right, so that's all we can, like, we'll add more to this, but that's basically it. Prefabs, let's make a folder here called mods. And mod list entry prefab. And we can like delete these other ones. A bunch. Cool. And then we have the detail panel. Let's get this populating. Oh man, my stomach's going crazy. Okay, so we need a class for the main thing. Mods. See, the thing is, I don't like something called mods view controller. I guess it's like mod list. Mod. Something like that. Mod list view controller. That's all right. Let's call this mod list scene instead of mods. Mod navigator. Okay, mod list, and let's make a new script. And we have a mods folder, but I like to have a screen, like a folder for screens, and that's like more focused on the user interface. So we'll make a folder, then you can just find out like where's the script for this screen. It's in here. Mod list, because this stuff has to do with like low-level mods, mid-level mod stuff, I guess, but we want something for specifically just the UI for the screen. Mod list view controller. And we're also going to want a mod list entry script. Compile. mod list entry. Or item or something. Okay. We got to put our namespace in because Unity doesn't let us do that for whatever reason. And we actually have a view controller. Oh, maybe we don't have a... We have a view controller subclass in Sentinels? Maybe we don't. It's something we do in our other games that has handy functionality, but it's not a big deal. All right, this is going to need... This is our item. And it's going to need a public text title label. Okay, and really, all this needs is configure. Wow, what an amazing class. This could actually be used for like the main detail panel as well. Maybe we'll actually rename this to mod view. I'll rename the file as well. Maybe mod manifest view. Mod view is fine. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Then on this, we have a rect transform mod, or sorry, I guess we have basically list parent and mod view list item prefab. And then at the start, we're going to be doing stuff. So basically what we're doing is populate the list. So mod manager dot. Yeah, can we actually get all the mods from that? No. So that's something we need. For each one, we need to populate it. And actually, we can do something like we did in main menu, because we can load it. We need to wait until the loading is finished before we can show them, basically, right? So we need to do something like this. And we'll probably make this be more available to like dynamic, like populate it like do as it's going along, but we can just do it as a one-shot thing right now. So populate list, and then in update, we will check to see once mod's finished loading, we can populate the list. So at the start, we actually don't do anything. Maybe we can like clear the list. Destroy all children. Destroy your children. That lets us have this like sort of layout stuff in the scene. Before we can keep this stuff in the scene for like messing around and not worry about it like duplicating up or whatever. All right, so we need to assign some components. So this is the mod list view controller. The list parent is this. And right, so because we're in the old version of Unity, we have to edit this like this. Mod view. You can't, like, in the new version, you can open up the prefab into like its own little environment, which is really nice. Title label is that. Then we apply. We save. We also have to save the project, or we'll lose our work. All right, so when we start this, it should at least, we need to select the prefab, which is this. Okay, this should, when we start, it should just clear this, and then nothing else will happen. I guess it's going to load the mods because we're hitting up the mod manager. Yeah, we hit the mod manager so it like wakes up and adds it dynamically. And then eventually, why are we getting all these errors? Button cancel is not set up. Is that something I'm trying to use? How about just delete that? Button blank is not set up. Okay, what do we use for our other input system? Test chat. Where's our input system? Our event system? Back. Okay. Instead of cancel. Back to our new scene. No. Back is the cancel button. Old version land. Okay, the event system is not freaking out. So once mods finish loading, then we can populate it. So let's go here. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can expose this in a property. Or one thing I want to do is be able to show like if things are loaded or not. But yeah, maybe we'll make this like a function. Mod manifest get loaded mods. And we'll just like sort it. Okay, then back here. We create a thing. So we instantiate list item prefab into the list parent. And configure it. Easy peasy. Cauldron, and my mod is the best. Perfect. All right, that's good. So these actually need to be buttons, right? Or something that we can like select. We can click it and then like show the details. But let's save what we got here because that's kind of a good spot to commit. So basically, rough in basic mod list scene, show list of loaded mods. No details. Wow. Okay, let's just hook this up so we can actually get to it from the main menu, and then at least you can see what mods are loaded. So let's create a back button. UI button. And I guess we want to anchor it up to the top. Offset it a little bit. And I wonder if we have any sprites. These are all available. Yeah, that's the one we typically use. We can make the background not like black. We'll make it. I like to put like stuff in gray when it's like in development. And then Jennifer can have more of a blank slate. So this is a back button. We have a script for back button, but I think it's an NGUI script. I don't think it's going to work. Unless this is a Unity UI supported one. Yeah, no, it's not. I could grab our other one, or just like do it as a one-off here. And this needs to be red state, blue state, regular, back. Okay, and actually we have a color that we use for back buttons, but I don't know. I'm just gonna actually, we have a pop to view controller on click, but that's probably also these are probably all based on NGUI stuff, right? Pop to view controller on click. Yeah, they're all, these on clicks are all like NGUI based stuff. Let's just put it in here. Menu controller. Pop. Or we can just go pop view controller. Well, let's do this for now. All right, click. Do this. Go back. And cool. And so we need to be able to get here. We need to add this scene to the build settings. Doesn't need to be down here at the testing or demo. We'll put it here. I guess it's sort of all alphabetical, isn't it? And then on the main menu, let's add a button just like off in the middle of nowhere somewhere. Let's copy this one. And we'll move it around. Woo! Where are we going to put it? Just like up here. Up here for now. Mods. Probably don't have the exclamation point in the font. Oh, we do. Okay, perfect. And we'll change this to push that view controller on click. And save. All right, and if we click that, it has been added to the build settings. Oh, right. It's called mod list, not mods. All right, we get to our scene, and then we can click back. Cool. Parent of rect transform is being set. Oh, because this is NGUI tools doing it. Cool. So we have our little scene there that we can access now. I'll just commit that as well. Access mod list scene from main menu. Add back button. All right, so that's cool. So now that's still like immediately useful, right? Because you can see what mods have been loaded even though that doesn't have any information. And if your mod fails to load, it just won't be in the list right now. So let's see what else we can add to this in the next little while, but I'm gonna wrap up within half an hour or so. We can at least like populate some details into a panel or something like that. Yeah, so I think I want to make them buttons. So let's go to our mod list entry. We'll just make the whole thing a button. And just a basic tint transition. So now, like, when I apply it, we can like click on it, won't do anything, but you can see it's clickable. Click. So we need to have it do something. So what we can do is have this mod view support a click callback that can pass back what one got clicked. Action mod click handler. This is one, yeah, there's different ways to do this, but this is a way that I often like to do it. And we can remember it this way. And then we can add yeah, we could do that. We could also just like support it being like a toggle in a toggle group. I wonder if that's better. I think that because you can only show one at a time, right? So if we, and then it can like the other ones can be told that they're unselected, which is nice. So we add a toggle component. Oh, right. We have to remove the button and add a toggle. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of not exactly a toggle. The nice thing about toggles is that like they automatically will tell each other when they become unselected, which is nice for what we're doing here. So we add a toggle instead. And we add like a toggle group to the root thing, then we can like do that. Like if we add toggle group here and Right, it needs to assign the toggle group at runtime. But so like if we do that, oh, we got an error from something. Oh, right, I see. We're not passing our... We'll need to pass that in, but I'm just want to see how the behavior of the toggle works here for what we want. So right now we don't have a toggle group. And I don't, yeah, we need a toggle graphic too, right? That shows that it's selected. So we would add like another graphic that goes under the label. That's like color. And then we selected image. Because I don't think you can, yeah, there's no selected one there. And now each of these are going to act like an individual checkbox, which is not what we want, but we'll get there. Right, so they each can go, but we can make them work more like a radio button by okay, so if we add a toggle, and then we add say item.toggle group. Do that. Item needs to know about its toggle. Come on, compile. Apply. This needs to know about its toggle group. Then it should work like a group. Like that. And you can have none selected to begin with, but then you can't not have one selected later, which is fine. Cool. So then we need a callback. Yeah. So now we're looking at like a selected callback, or instead of clicked. So mod view needs a selected. No, what? And I don't know if that takes a, oh yeah, value changed. Toggle changed. And then we can hook it up to itself. Apply. Yeah, so this isn't really, this is toggle handler. So then if this dot toggle is on, and we probably want to keep a reference to our mod. And we can like say deselected as well if we want. And we call our toggle handler. And this can like then respond to that. Let's see if that does what we want. Should. So mod selected cauldron, deselected. Yeah, so it actually, the other one doesn't get a callback, which is fine because it doesn't need to do anything. The like graphic handling is handled by the UI system automatically, so we don't need to do anything. And that is great. So we don't really need that to be logging so much. And yeah, and then basically this can configure the main mod view, detail mod view. We can just say detail mod view configure with the selected mod. That's the idea. And it doesn't have any click handler or whatever. Yeah, that can probably just be an optional parameter. All right, so, and then we can just like make a, this detail panel can get a mod view. Excuse me. And give it a big old text for its title label just to see. Cauldron. My mod is the best. Nice. All right, so let's go back to how we want our screen to look. So we have like an image there that we're not going to have anything for, but we can at least put a placeholder there. All right, let's get to our scene here. Oh, what are we doing? So this is going to be like in the top left. It's going to be like probably something like that. This can be our title label. It's going to be up in the top with like some space. No, that should be like 10 and center it. Pick a nice font. Maybe this. We have a font, Comic New, that has more characters. Comic New Bold. How about that? Title label. This is what we use for text chat. And we can say best fit and just limit it to a certain size. Let's just make sure we have the project saved. Prefabs. There we go. And then we can support more information. So, right, description, label, author, version, things like that. Let's, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to put this up here. Sort of have squares, like these are like on one column and these are another column. So let's like add panels to split that up. Just panels. These don't have to have graphics in them. They just happen to make it easier to see what you're doing. This can be like this, and it's like offset by 10 minus 10, say 220. Whatever we image inside that. Call that like left panel. Then the image, like these things just automatically update, which is nice. We can say this is like in the middle instead. Or like, actually, yeah, maybe this is just like exactly 200. And the image just fits in it like that. These could also have layout groups and stuff that can automatically lay things out. But we can always add those in later. So it can be a little finicky to start with those. Then we have right panel. If you want to make layout adjustments, it makes it a little faster, but it can be a little tricksy sometimes. So this is going to be, when you have things like this where like one thing can scale more than the other thing, that's when you want more of a layout group. Guess we could just put that in. What we would do is make this a horizontal layout group. Well, there would be like something inside this. I'm not going to get into that right now. We're almost done. We'll maybe go back into that next time. We'll look at doing that next time maybe. For now, we'll just do like this. And say that they just happen to be the same height. And we'll work at making some alignment adjustments and things later. Oh, this is, say, 220 and minus 10. Oh, or just 10, I guess. Sometimes it's tricky to know what to do. And then this can just be in here. And then we can add a description label, which is like the rest of this space. See, this goes 30 to the max and probably left aligned. Left top aligned? I don't know. And then over here, we're going to have like this could be a vertical layout group as well. So yeah, let's put a vertical layout group into this one for now. And you don't have to like fiddle around with things. It just puts them. Like if we create, let's just copy this, put another label in there. It's like screwing them up, but you need to tell it to like control them. And we say there's a bit of spacing in between things. We can say this image is, I don't want this to get small. So we're going to add a layout element and say it has to be 200. And we want it to be 200. And you can like, but then sometimes it's like, oh, I want it to be bigger. We can say don't force expand height, right? That's what we want. So this is going to be author and version and folder name. Oh. Cool. So we've got all these things and we can like style them obviously at some point, but you can see how these just sort of line up. You don't need to worry about laying them out, which is really nice in Unity UI. You have these layout options and we can do that for the whole thing can be set up with these dynamically laid out groups, which we use a lot in our other games as well. So you can put in padding and stuff, right? So just like we did with the grid over here, we can do the whole thing with these layout groups. And you can implement your own to do special things like we do for the hand views and stuff in Spirit Island and Eon's End. Right, so we need to hook up these things. So let's make that the last thing we do, and then we'll call it a day, I think. So we need to have more things on here. We have a description label, author label, version label, which we don't actually support yet, maybe, and folder label. And these will need null checks because the other thing doesn't have them. Description, yeah. Right, so let's just copy and paste these because author label is author. Version label, we don't have a version. TBD. And folder label is, I think, the mod.name. Yeah. And then when we hook those up, it'll work. Should see them appear right here. I'm just gonna, I was thinking this should be like this. Clearly, this is alpha level screen in case we ship with this screen for the mod branch. So yeah, so this detail panel needs to have connections to description label, author label, version label, and folder label. And then we click one. Hey, look. Calder Mod Team, TBD, CCC. Those are the things that we put in. So, obviously, there's information. It's not pretty. But we'll make it pretty. Whew, excuse me. So, yeah. I think that's about all I want to get to right now. There's obviously more stuff to do here, but I'll add visual polish. And we actually need to add scrolling list of mods. So we're showing title, we're showing author, showing description. We don't have version yet or credits. And these other functions and stuff we don't have yet. But yeah, certainly functional to see like verify that your mod loaded, or if you have multiple mods. And then I think the next more important thing is to like give you information about why your mod didn't load, which right now it just like, if it doesn't load, it's just not in the list. You need to go look in the log. But that's important, as well as like getting into showing the content and stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty good. Actually, one thing I'm going to do is have it start by hiding the detail panel. And then show it. Because right now it's just going to show all that. Before you select one, it's just going to show a bunch of empty stuff. So we'll go like this. It'll just be like turned off over here when you first come into the screen, and then when you click one, the information pops up. Cool. So then, obviously styling and everything is going to be a thing. All right, so let's save that. And that's pretty good. Show more details on mod list screen. All right. So, yeah, so today, just to go over what we got up to, we fixed up some issues with opening lines and variants, especially villain variants. Added some more error handling and improvements to loading so that multiple mods work properly. So variants in, I think, improving support between variants of mod content, which right now there isn't a good way to test that in the engine. I think you can if you like know what you're doing to load the assembly and stuff like that, but it's non-trivial for sure. And so yeah, if you want, I don't expect that's going to be a major thing for a while, but it will be at some point. We can show if something's a mod on the screen now when you have it up, and we're working on this mod list screen. So that will be the next time. We'll probably continue working on that. I'll probably do some of that offline because I'll have a couple of weeks till the next stream, so I'll probably end up doing some of this by then. But yeah, so you'll be able to see what mods you have loaded, and eventually that screen is going to be used for uploading, probably. So yeah, it's good, I thought, to do this in Unity UI because it's just going to be so much easier than NGUI to be doing it in that. So I'll probably get a build for the mod alpha branch with these changes so that you can factor in that error handling stuff and everything, and multiple mods as well as villain variants will be working. So stay tuned for that, probably at some point next week. But other than that, I hope everyone is having a good day and has a happy holidays. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa and all the rest. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. See you next time.